So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug says Kill Winds, Atlantic Station, Atlanta. This was a gift from my oldest daughter. She just up one day said, I got you something, and handed me a wrapped coffee mug. I love all coffee mugs, so it doesn't even matter that I've never been to Kill Winds and has no clue what it is or where it is in Atlanta. This particular coffee mug is really interesting in the curved shape, and it's a bit thicker than most of the coffee mugs that I have. So even though it looks a little bigger, inside is actually quite a bit smaller because it's a really big, thick kind of wall on the mug. Anyway, today's tea is the Ahmad Tea London Detox Tea from our July Sips By. This particular tea has dandelion, fennel, birch leaves, ginger, rosemary, peppermint, nettles, and sweet blackberry leaves. And it is supposed to do lots of boosting for your energy and your vitality and all the things. So let's give her a sip and see how she tastes. She's actually been steeping for a little bit as I prepared for today's video. So we're probably at our full flavor. But anyway, it's a very light scent, so I'm a little concerned about how the flavor is going to be. You all know I like my tea a little on the strong side, but here we go. Oh, that's interesting. There's no mint? Oh, there's peppermint. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. So I'm getting in the scent too a little bit. Not sure about any of the other ones showing up at this point. Might have oversweetened it just a teeny little bit. However, it does taste really good. I think I like this one. I think I like this one. I like mint mixed teas. I like to mix my mint with my chocolate. Yeah, a mint with my orange. I put mint in my my cold tea that I make. I like mint. I really do. Peppermint in particular. Spearmint is a bit sharper, but yeah, I like mint. I like mint, so I think I'm going to like this tea. So far, it's not doing bad. Anyway, so today, as it says down below, we're doing a full face of e.l.f. And I'm going to say almost because I'm still going to end up using a couple of things that I didn't get from e.l.f. But we have a big basket of e.l.f. Now, I've used the primer mist. I probably won't be using it today, but I have used the primer mist. I do like this. My only dislike of it is that it goes very, very quickly. But everything else is pretty much full face. We've got the Opposites Attract palette. I've picked up a foundation. This is their Flawless Finish foundation. They have new shades in this. They have something like, I want to say 30 shades. This is going to come up probably a little light and a little orange. I tried their shade match thing, and the shade match, they didn't have an exact shade match for the Dream Foundation from Maybelline that I use. So I had to guesstimate because the one that they showed me was going to be way dark. So we tried this one, and this is in the color... What color are you? This is in the color Sand, and I probably should have gone a little darker. It's supposed to have a neutral undertone, but like most neutral undertones, it tends more golden. But there we go, we've got that. I've also got the Sheer Tint Finishing Powder in medium dark. I haven't opened any of these. I picked up a brow pencil. I have their 16-hour Camo concealer. I have this in 2 shades. I have this really light shade to use on my eyes, and I have this more golden, more medium tone, which may be just a touch light. But I have this for the rest of my stuff that I do. I picked up a primer infused blush. We have the Poreless Putty primer that everybody talks about. I'm going to give that a try. I have the Day to Night Lipstick Duo. I have this bronzer warm set. Looks like it's going to have four different bronzers in it. As you can see, I've opened none of these except for stuff I've already used. I have a metallic flare highlighter in rose gold. I picked up a buffing foundation brush. We're going to use that for their foundation. And their 3-in-1 Very Black mascara. As you all know, I have their lip oil in Berry Kiss that I absolutely love. So we've got that. We've got the eyeliner pen. And I also have one of these pencils, one of their lip pencils. This one is in Scarlet Night. So we've got quite a bit to work with here. I'm kind of excited to go ahead and play with these. Alrighty, so we're going to be starting with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is apparently one of their most popular things. Here is the packaging outside of the box. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's really stiff, so I'm going to have to use my finger to apply it, which actually I don't like. But let's go ahead and get started with this. It feels very smooth. People have said that this is a dupe for the Tatcha. I don't know. So what I'm going to do, since I prefer not to use my fingers too much, is I'm going to grab a little bit of it. And I am going to pat it down in places on my skin. Hope we can get it down on the skin. Come here. And then I am going to take my primer brush that I use, and I'm going to try to buff that out. See if I can buff it out. Try to grab some. I think I grabbed some. Yeah, I grabbed some. Cool. I'm a girl who much prefers to use her brush to her fingers. So if I can grab some out of there instead of putting it on my fingers, I would be much happier. It does seem to have a slight tackiness to it, but it's very smooth. I'm not feeling it on my skin, which is something I appreciate. We are now going to take a little bit of this 16-hour Camo concealer and provide a base on my lids. So I'm going to put a dot there, dot there. I use brushes for just about everything. We're going to smooth this out. Okay, so off camera, I went ahead and powdered the concealer with my RCMA, and then I applied the Kryolan Professional Eyeshadow Primer over it. I have to say, the Camo concealer, this is really, I actually am already liking this. It feels very lightweight on the eyes. It was very creamy. I probably could have done with a little less than what I put on. It smoothed out really nice, and it didn't pick up as much as other concealers that I've used on my eyes. Because of the way my eyes are, I do have to do that concealer, powder, primer, those steps to get stuff to stay better. And a lot of times the concealers will literally pick up on the inner corner where I have issues. This one did not do that. So now we're going to get into our palette. We are ready to go for that. I have no idea what I'm doing, but you know, we're used to me being like that, right? So I think I'm going to start by mixing this color Low Key with this color Bold. Get sort of a lighter version of Bold, hopefully. And put that underneath my brow. Maybe we'll just try adding the Bold first and then go over it with Low Key. I am having to blend a bit more along the top because of how far that concealer went out. All right, so we've got her up there. And now we'll add some of this. You know, if they had a lighter color yellow, I probably would put that in there too, but along the top edge. But they don't. Next, I'm going to take my flat brush and I'm going to use this color Spicy on the inner half of my eye and this color Daring on the outer half of my eye, my lid. This is turning into, this is going to be a very, very neutral look for me. This is not the kind of look I would normally do, as you all know. And I think, now that I see this on my eye, I'm going to start with this color Happy, and I'm going to put that over the top of the Spicy color, just to give it a little extra oomph. Hopefully. Oh, that actually browned her out more. Okay. Going back to my Spicy. And these colors are applying well. It's just they're not colors I would normally use. I'm going to go next door to the color, orange color Cheeky, and try to give this a little bit more. There, just a little bit. Taking my Sephora Cut brush and grabbing some of that color Daring for the outer corner. Daring is coming up a bit more brown than coppery. I have to say, well, I am getting fallout. There is kickback in the pan. But I also have to say these shimmers are not as shimmery as I would like. All right, so we are going to take that color Wise, the green, and I'm going to use that in my crease and for my point. And then I will deepen my crease with the color Smooth, this dark chocolate. Might as well stick with these brownish tones. So this is going to be Wise. Oh, she's a nice color. She's very deep. And matte. It's a nice matte. She's not horrible. Now taking that really deep dark brown, the color Smooth, and we're going in the crease just to deepen things up just a little bit. And it's actually not doing that. Not as much as I expected. We're going to clean up this fallout, which is terrible. And is sticking to the putty. We got some shine on our cheeks now from the shimmers. So all of them have that fallout. Not just the mattes. So your girl has to add a little bit of color. It don't quite fit, but we're going to throw one of these. We're going to throw the shimmery purple underneath. And actually, I'm going to go from bold to chill. So this is bold, this is chill underneath the eyes. We will do bold on the inner corner. Just let it go out. The purple and the bold will blend a bit in the center. Okay, so now we're going to grab some of that chill, go about the middle, on back. That's what I needed. Just a little bit of color. I think I'm going to deepen up that bold a little bit with some daring. Just a touch. Not a lot. We just want it to show up a little better. That worked. All right, so we're done with the eyes. I am a little concerned about the inner corner of my eyes where I tend to lose shadow. I mean, it just disappears. And since we've done this blend, it's going to be hard to replicate if I have to. However, right now we're just going to hope that everything's going to be fine. And we're going to grab the other Camo concealer. I've stopped color correcting for the most part and just using concealer. From what I've learned from the first one I used, we will not go heavy. Yeah, she's really light. I probably should have gotten a bit darker. That's okay. We're going under with this one right now. Close that up. Starting with this brush. I use this brush to clean up my lines and start going outwards a bit. I really do like the consistency of this. I really like the way this feels on my skin. I wouldn't say that this has the most opaque coverage I've seen, but she does feel comfortable enough to try a second layer where I feel I need it. So put a little bit more on these inner corners, a little bit more around the nose, and I noticed that it didn't spread very easily, so, or I should say it didn't spread as far as I thought it would. Okay, she does layer nicely. This was a little light for a medium peach. It's not really very medium. It's also not very peach, which is odd, but it does layer. It still didn't quite cover up the way I would on my under eyes, but it did everything else really well, and that's just my under eyes, I think. So now we're going to try the foundation, and here are some swatches of the foundation. So this is the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid Foundation. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. And this is the Sephora 10-Hour Perfection. So they didn't have my perfect match. This is pretty close to the Sephora 10-Hour, which I do like as well. It seems to be a little lighter, but it may oxidize some. I don't know how much I'm going to need, so I'm just going to put down 2 pumps for now. Since I'm not mixing it with anything this time around, this should be fine. And I'm going to use their buffing foundation brush. I have to say this is a little on the small end, but it does feel sturdy. I'm not seeing any shedding or any loose hairs. It looks like a really decent brush. I do like the e.l.f. brushes. I do have several of them I use. So I'm going to take this. This is supposed to have a neutral undertone, but it strikes me as just a touch orange. Golden. Something. Anyway. She's a little light for me. But that's probably because I've been gradually going towards my summer skin. That's an interesting smell. It's not a horrible smell. It's almost perfumey. So yeah, this is the light end of medium coverage. I'm going to see if it builds up. It does dry down quickly. At least on my palette. Actually on my skin too. But we're going to try to add another layer and hope we don't look cakey or crazy. So I'm not feeling the foundation on my face. It does build. It's probably about a medium now. I wouldn't go another layer myself. I'm not sure it would go any further, but it is about a medium coverage at this point. She's looking dry and creasy between my brows, the way a lot of them do. The finish under my eyes and on my cheeks looks really nice, however. And since my glasses cover that area, I'm not overly worried about it. It did oxidize down a bit, so it's not too light. It's a little on the light side, but that's summer skin more than anything. We are going to try to set her with this sheer tint finishing powder. So this is the sheer tint finishing powder. Whoa, hello. Nice shiny packaging. Of course, it comes with a little sponge, which I won't use, so we'll just take that out. It's a nice looking compact. Here is the color. So I'm going to take my, this is what I would normally use. This is my Royal & Langnickel powder BMD 100 brush. I would normally use this for a powder foundation. This color is dark enough to be kind of like that. Let's see how she works for setting. Let's put this on our face. Okay, so it's a sheer tint. It definitely has a tint though, which I don't mind. Something like this will work really well if you have a foundation that's just a touch too light the way this one is. So far right now I'm liking the foundation. I'm particularly liking it mixed with this powder. Obviously I'm going to have to play around with it and see how it works with some of my other stuff that I use. That's not e.l.f. But the finish is still really, really nice. Still dry in the middle of my eyes, but that's not unexpected. But the finish of it, like along my cheeks and everything, it's looking really smooth. Okay, I'm really surprised. I'm going to use my Juvia's Place. This is in the color 18 for my under eyes. So as you can see, it had a bit more coverage, not a huge amount. It did work over the powder and the foundation really nicely, so that's good too. We're just going to use this under our eyes because under my eyes is where I have the worst dark trouble. And we're going to go back to the e.l.f. to add a little brightness in a few places. So just to put a little bit down the nose, a little bit up for the forehead. Oh. Interesting. I think over the foundation it doesn't look too dark at all. Okay, and I'm going to take the brush that I used earlier with the powder. I'm not going to put more powder on it. I am just going to touch up these areas where I've just added a little bit. Just dry them down. So that'll set a bit. So I set underneath my eyes with my Milani banana powder, and then I used my NYX brow gel. There were a few things I couldn't pick up. This is their brand new brow pencil. This is in the color neutral brown. As you can see, it has a spoolie on one side. It is a turning type. This turn feels a little loose. I'm a little worried about it accidentally going down while I'm using it, but we'll give it a try and I'll hold it. Well, we'll see how this works. So, the neutral brown may be a bit on the red and light side for me, and I got a little bit where I don't need it, but there we go. That came off easily enough. Beyond that, it's doing what I like my pencils to do and filling things in. I would have to say it is not so light and red that I consider it a problem. Just know that the neutral brown leans a little red. So I was right to be a little bit concerned. I did have to kind of hold the part that you spin to bring up more pencil with my hand when I was doing this brow. For some reason it would either go up or down, so that's something to be aware of. The spoolie is really nice. It has a nice stiff bristles, but it doesn't have anything that's too scratchy. And it did help lay down my brows a little bit better after having everything down and smudge out the color. So I mostly use pencils to fill in holes because I have holes in my brows. I don't look for anything that's going to give me, you know, little individual hairs. I'm not quite that, yeah, I'm not. We'll just go there. All right, so next we're going to try their eyeliner pen in black. I don't know. Pens are one of those things that I'm kind of fussy about. It's got a nice point on it. So let's give this a try. Alright, so I have to say I approve of this one, which is a surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but it's got really nice dark color. It flowed on smoothly. Other than the fact that I'm more used to using the little brushes than I am using the pens, it really went on really, really well. I'm really surprised. The color's really good. I do have a black that is darker, but I'm really surprised. I actually like this. I think I would repurchase more of these. Not so sure I'd repurchase more of the brow just because of the problem with the thing being too loose, but definitely would repurchase more of that. So now we're going to move on to the mascara. This is a 3-in-1. It says Very Black, all-in-one that helps lengthen, define, and volumize. Already not happy. Don't like these kinds of brushes. As you can see, I really wish they'd shown the brush on the packaging so I could see that it was, maybe they did. Oh, they did. Well, kinda did. On the packaging, it still looks like it's hairs. These do not, well, I guess they are. They're just really short and weird. All right, we'll just give this a try. They're much shorter than what I've seen, but here we go. Nice color. So this is one coat. I'm going to apply probably 2 more. See how that works. It's smooth. I actually kind of, other than the brush being a little weird and kind of pokey, I think I like it. We'll see. It has to dry and all that other stuff. Alrighty, so here we are at 3 coats. I have to say, I like it. I'm impressed so far. Another lightweight formula. It's a bit on the wet side right now. Brand new, probably. It doesn't volumize as much as I'm used to volumizing mascaras volumizing, but it's fine. I actually like the look, or the look of the lashes anyway. So here is our bronzing compact. It comes with the mirror. There's our bronzers. I'm not sure I like this setup as much as I liked it on the way it looked on the packaging. I think my concern here is how everything would end up blending together. Let's see, we're going to use this color. I suspect this one would look a little bit ashy on me right now. This one might work for me in the winter when I don't have quite so much of a gold undercast from having been out in the sun. So we'll just go with this one. Looks like it might be just a touch light. We will use We will use this brush. It's good for, I found this is good for more difficult to use colors. It should help concentrate some of the color. Yeah, if you're going to use a bigger, don't use a bigger brush with this one. I do have some bigger brushes I like to use with my contours. And this, as you can see, the powder, is starting to get into the other pans. So that's kind of a bad thing. Oh, she came up a little more orangey than I expected her to. I'm going to have to use another brush to thin some of that out. Go back to my powder brush. Where is it? When you go too far, grab your powder brush and fix it. There we go. And I went too far. So, there we go. Let's see how this does on my nose. Fortunately, you can just blow the excess off. The excess doesn't seem to be sticking to the other colors. Yeah, she's a bit light. So I'm going to take a little bit of this darker shade and add that in around my nose. So I think about this being medium to dark. Honestly, I think I would have preferred, instead of 4 colors, I think I would have preferred 2, and just a medium one and then a separate one for dark, and that the darker colors would be a bit more dark, because this will not work on a skin tone that's much darker than mine, I don't think. Honestly, it shows up on mine, but I'm kind of, I haven't gotten as dark as I normally get because I haven't been out as much this summer. I mean, I've been out there, but not as much. And I think if I were any darker, these colors would not work on me. So that's, for medium dark, this I think could have been done better. All right, so now we're going to try their blush, their primer infused blush. This is an Always Rosy. If I can get it out of here. So that's that compact, and that's the color outside, definitely on the rosy side. Going to grab my really big Sephora bronzer brush that I use for blushes and pat that on. Oh, that's nice. That's actually really nice. That's really nice. I like that. Wow. Okay, so that is really, really nice. That is very successful. So now we're going to try the highlighter. This is Metallic Flare Highlighter in Rose Gold. I needed some lighter colors on my face because my eyes are so dark. When I fix these inner corners up, I'm probably going to do something just a little bit different. But here is the packaging for that. And here is that highlighter. I almost don't want to mess it up. Grab a little bit from the top. Oh, she doesn't look like she's going to give a lot, but let's see what happens. Grabbing one of my smaller highlighter brushes. Picking up some color, I hope. And circles. Okay, I am not getting much of anything. That's disappointing. Let's really dig in there. Come on, give me some color. If this doesn't work, I'll go to a different brush. Okay, so I am getting a very subtle glow. I mean, literally very subtle. We'll try a different brush. Yeah, I have put on a number of layers. It's there. It's very light, but I wouldn't say that this is a metallic flare. I'm not getting any flaring. Just really, really kind of surprised, honestly. Really kind of surprised. All right, gonna put my hair down and I will be right back and we will finish up. So I put on my ColourPop Lippy Primer that I use all the time. I have used these two before. I do like them. Let's get into the new product, which is their Day to Night Lipstick Duo. This is in the Best Berries, which makes sense. Here is the Day. Oh, this is cute. Look at this on the packaging. So we have the e.l.f. and then over here we have Day and Night. Isn't that cute? Just so you can see. Come on. She's being difficult. She's been being difficult for a while now. But anyway, so here is the Day color. Kind of light and pinky. Might put that in the middle and do an ombre. And here is the Night color. Ooh, like that. All right, so I'm going to start with the Day color. They both felt really smooth. I'm going to start with the Day color, and I'm probably going to ombre the Night color over it. Don't know if I'm going to need my lip oil or anything. Goes on very, very smooth. You would not need a lip gloss over this, I don't think. However, this lighter color is looking a little patchy. Is this flavored? Yeah, it's sweet. Okay, let's give people lipstick they want to eat. I'm going to try the darker color over the Day. See if we can ombre out to something darker on the edges. She's a little, I'm going a little too wide for that. That's fine. She's giving me... Okay, I definitely like that better. That taste is just gonna... Okay, so I like the darker color better. The lighter color could be a nude for me during, like I said, during the day. It doesn't ombre well. The edges are really nice. I don't need a lip liner at all with this. So anyway, I've split these up into things that have failed, done kind of they've had their issues, and then the real successes. So there's actually only one real failure in this stuff, and that is this metallic glow thing. It is there, but for something that's supposed to be a metallic flare, I don't think that's doing much on the flare side. I mean, I can see it because of my lighting, but I think it would come out really, really subtle. If you wanted something really brilliant, this would not be what you would go for. It's okay. Not an item I think I'm going to keep. I have other highlighters that work much better than this one. So this was my one distinct fail. Most everything else is kind of in the middle of the road. They have their good points and their bad points. I'm going to go with the better ones before I get to the mixed ones. I would like to end on a more positive note, but it'll be easier to see the other stuff, you know. So the foundation, I think, was a success. It is a touch light. It did dry down. I don't feel it on my skin at all. I do really like the finish. The finish is really smooth. It doesn't look at all dry, even after it's been powdered. It's, I I think the foundation is really, really nice. So if you're looking for an inexpensive foundation, I think at this point, without doing any of my other testing that I usually do, I would recommend this. The powder was also really, really nice. If I can do this without blinding you guys. It helped darken the foundation just a touch. It does have, when it says sheer tint, there is a tint. And for when you have a foundation that's too light, you do need something that has a bit more tint to it. I don't think this would hold back my oils, but I think as a finishing powder, it didn't make me look dry, so I like that as well. I'm going to be keeping that. I am really impressed with the blush. I think with the blush, you're going to have to be a little careful, though. I think this would be easy to go overboard with because it actually had a lot of pigment, and I do like the color, so I think I'm going to really like that. The eyeliner, I'm really impressed with the eyeliner. I'm really, really surprised that I'm impressed with the eyeliner. I think this is an eyeliner I would purchase again. I really did like it. It's got nice, smooth color. Really impressed with that. I'm going to say that these are not so but they're not really successes either. They're good. The Camo concealers, I did like it for my eyes. It's very lightweight. You don't feel it. It's very creamy. You don't need a lot. It'll spread. It spreads easily. However, it is on the sheerer side. I don't think it did much for my under eyes at all, really. I need something with a little bit more coverage than this provides for my under eyes. But other than that, I think it did help with lightening where I wanted lighter here, just not my under eyes really. And it did provide a really nice base for the eyeshadow. So this is not necessarily an but it's not a full-blown success just because the coverage ended up being a bit on the lighter side. Now, it's quite possible if the medium peach was actually more medium, it might have done a little better. Everything else was kind of this is okay. This is that Poreless Putty primer. I probably have to play around with it a little bit more to get a better feel for it, I think. It did feel okay. It felt light. I'm not getting itchy. It apparently worked really well with the foundation I used. I'd have to see it with other foundations. I don't think it... I think part of me is just an issue with the consistency of it. Now that I can use my brush with it, because I've gotten it started, so to speak, when I first touched it, that top felt pretty solid, but once I dug in and did that, then I could start using my brush with it. That might work for me, but I don't think this is something I would repurchase. It doesn't feel like it's very moisturizing, and that's one of the things that I like in a primer, is that it feels like it's moisturizing my face. So it's one of the reasons why I like the Hydra Touch. Not necessarily a failure, but I don't think it's a big success for me personally. Same with the bronzer. I don't like this setup. I don't like the fact that the bronzers can get into each other. I think for something that's supposed to go medium dark, it's not dark enough. It needs a darker color. I don't even know why they have these really light. Well, this one could work for medium, but this particular light shade seems like a waste of space when you're talking about medium dark. I think they could have gone a bit darker with it. It did apply well. I do think it worked. But beyond that, I think for this one, the quote-unquote failure part of it is the colors, basically. I like the feel of these. I have found that I really do like a lot of the e.l.f. lip products. I like the feel of these. I do think the lighter color was a bit on the patchier side, and if you want to do an ombre, they're not going to work. I do think it's kind of cute that it has this. I don't know about long-lasting or anything like that. I'm just going to go with this. Didn't exactly go but it's not a full-blown success. I like it. I'm going to keep it, but I don't love it nearly as much as I say the lip oil. I'd say these two are about the same in terms of how much I like them. I like them. I'll use them, but there's better lip products out there than this one, I think. I think the brow pencil, the color was okay. As I mentioned before, it's just a touch on the red side. I don't know if you're going to even see it there. It's just a touch on the red side. and the spoolie part, the spinny part is just really loose, so I have to kind of hold it when I'm using it, and that's a little awkward. I probably will finish this up. I did like the spoolie, but spoolies are not that hard to, you know, make a nice spoolie that's not scratchy. That's not that hard to do. So this was okay. And finally, the Opposites Attract. This is an okay palette. It's not a good palette for me in terms of the colors, and I should have realized that before I bought it. I think I was so drawn in by the purple and the green and the fact that there were some of these brighter oranges. But honestly, for there to be opposites, it really just doesn't feel like there's enough brighter colors. The shimmers don't actually really do a lot of shimmering. I did repair my inner corner eyes with the color Bold. I just used the Bold and nothing else in there. This is not a palette that I'm going to keep. I'm going to put this in the Project Beauty Share, back in the Project Beauty Share because it was there before. Mostly just, I think it's a color thing. In terms of pigmentation, it's pigmented. They blended. They held up as well as most eyeshadow palettes do for my inner eye. It did repair well, so that's really nice. How long that repair stays is something else entirely, but it did repair. So I don't think this is a bad palette. I just think this is a, it's not a good match for me in terms of the color story. So that is it for today, and I hope you like what you've seen. And if you do like what you've seen, I hope you will subscribe. If you subscribe, please hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. I currently upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I do have bonus videos that go up once or twice a month sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but we do have bonus videos every month. And to know about those, you will need to have that bell hit. If you're part of my notification squad, check your bell and your subscription to make sure that both are still active. And if you choose not to subscribe, well, I would understand. This video probably is going to be, even after editing, very long, for which I apologize. Not all my videos are very long, but they do tend to be long, and I am not everybody's cup of tea, so I would understand if you choose not to subscribe. However, you are always welcome back here again, and we do hope you will come by. And if you do come by, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. So we've been at this for quite a while. It's going to get cut down when I edit, but I've been at this for quite a while. So this tea is really cold now. And should be at full strength. We should have all our full flavors, and hopefully she ain't bitter. Let's go ahead and give her a taste and skedaddle on out of here. I swear I can talk. Waited till the end of the video to not be able to talk, but I swear I can talk. All right, let's give her a taste. There is a touch of bitterness. However, she is, it still tastes good. It's not a really strong bitterness. The flavors are more blended. The peppermint has toned down a little bit. So now I'm not getting a lot of individual flavor. I'm getting a real nice mix, a nice blend of flavor. It's actually pretty good as a cold tea. I'm kind of surprised. I think I'm going to finish that one up. So that's it. Hope you have a great day.